a fantastic personality. I think there is lack of words to introduce the person.
You don't have to say anything. Thank you very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in 1979, when Pope John Paul II visited Poland, he said, and I quote from the book, "Let the Holy Spirit descend to renew the land." And then he went on to say, "This land, Poland," to the applause of the thousands of people who had come to receive him. I think one of the most important lines in the whole book is that the visit of John Paul II contributed to recontextualizing Poland. And in that regard, I would like to say that from this small country, Jordan, living as we do at the epicenter of instability in our West Asian region, it is all the more important to focus on the spirit of the book by saying, in the words of Timothy Garton Ash, that the reform movement, the Solidarność movement, was the most infectiously hopeful movement in the history of contemporary Europe. Part of the reason for my favoring a conversation with which I feel very fortunate with the Visegrad Four is hopefully to be infected by that movement of hope. Because as you know very well, beset by the unimaginable problems of the total destruction of Warsaw, and I spoke to the ambassador of Poland only a few evenings ago, watching a BBC documentary on the uprising of Warsaw before the end of the war, where the famous Polish officer, General Komorowski, represented the will of free Poland. I want to say that it is the conclusions of the beauty of Warsaw today, the achievement of the Polish people, that need to be looked at. As we look at 7 Arab countries, all of which have been directly involved in devastating war and devastating consequences. We live, as you say in the book, in a polycentric world. It is not enough to say that we are members of NATO or friends of NATO or friends of this alliance or that alliance. We have to live within the context of the culture of our region, and what is more important, to develop with you a template of hope. I cannot compare the First World War and the Second World War and their consequences to war in our region. All I can say is that if we continue to destroy each other the way we are, then I think that it is very clear that we are going to move rather rapidly from believing to hoping to the inevitable breakdown of all hope, to pessimism, which plays straight into the hands of the black wave that we see devastating our values in this region. As I told you the last time we met, the longest distance in the world is from here to here and back. From your mind to your heart and back. And I would like to ask you, ladies and gentlemen who have read the book, to underline 3 times the peace process definition. Multi-directional peace, inner peace, and peace between peoples. It is this element of inner peace that Pope John Paul II described when he referred to the Holy Spirit descending to renew this land. Solidarity, a broader patriotism. I'm quoting Churchill in 1946, who after the destruction of Europe stood in front of those ruins in his famous speech in Zurich and called for a broader patriotism, انتماء أوسع وأعمق than nationalism per se. So in this context, and I salute the presence of the Ambassador of India, who is prominent in those members of the diplomatic corps who have attended this meeting, I want to ask, when we look at the question of Polish security and V4 security, how do we strive more effectively towards new arrangements and new relationships in a region which is on occasion described as the soft underbelly of NATO,